What's up, YouTube? Back out here in the shop today. We are working on this JKU, finishing up the hydro steer on it. I've skipped video on a lot. We were out here yesterday. The owner of this Jeep was here yesterday, and we kind of got some stuff fabbed up in a short period of time because he's kind of in a hurry. But anyway, we've got pretty far on it. Basically, all we like is welding out this cradle system. But what we got is Jeep JKU on Dana 60 Ultimate axles. Apparently he was told, or we were told, that nobody makes a weld-on kit for the full hydro PSC system. This is an Artec cradle, weld-on cradle, basically their DIY cradle. If you can see, we had to cut out clearance for the differential. Had to make a few extra brackets and do some modifying, do a little plasma cutting. Made these high steer arms here basically to make this knuckle double shear. If you look on this axle, this is the factory mount for the drag link, the top side, and it came out and went this way. So I ended up having to fabricate a new top arm that comes over and lines up with the tie rod connection. So basically you have double shear here, and we're going to have I'll show you here in a little bit, we'll have the ram mounted, and this tie rod will come over and it'll have a double shear connection. These three studs here were already here, the factory mounting points on this axle. But on this side, these studs were not here. There was just a flat top on this knuckle, and we were told that it couldn't be done. Don't know why, but basically I bought 3 studs, conical washers. If you're not sure what a conical washer is, it's basically a cone-shaped washer with a slit in it that allows, and I machined this arm again to give you double shear on this side, on the driver's side. But a conical washer basically is cone shaped, and then this arm is machined, these holes are machined in the opposite cone shape, and basically it aligns this thing and keeps it locked in position so it can't rock. If something was to get loose, it's not going to rock back and forth. So we drilled and tapped the top of this knuckle for these 3 studs in this arm. Made that arm 3/4 inch bolt's going to go here, heim joint. Show you guys that here in a minute. But yeah, we've basically taken a DIY Artec truss kit, or not truss kit, sorry, cradle, hydraulic steering cradle. As you can see in here, there's the blocks for the PSC ram mount. Again, there's that arm I made. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and like I said, if you have a UD60 Dana axle and are looking to do hydro steer, I can definitely help you out. If you have any questions, like I said, leave them in the comments. The Ultimate axle, Dana 60 Ultimate axle, the actual tubes are a little bit bigger in diameter, so we had to kind of open up the radiuses on the bracketry, but we got it. Basically all we like is welding up the rest of this cradle kit and mounting the ram, tie rods, setting everything, and this thing will be pretty well buttoned up. But we're going to get to welding. I'll do a little time lapse here for welding, and then we'll mount the ram and tie rods, and we got to build some spacers here for the heims. We want to keep the heims up. Basically the heims are going to be a 1/2 inch from this top link, because when you steer this in, it drops down quite a bit. So we're going to keep this as high as we can on this arm to keep it from being at a high angle. Of course, they're going to be misalignment. Heims can misalign a little bit, so but that'll keep it from getting at such a high angle. But yeah, we're gonna weld this thing up and then get things mounted, and I'll show you guys what the finished product looks like. Stay tuned. So we got it all welded up. There's a couple, these passes here, these passes along this seam here. I'm gonna clean those out, double pass those, because they're pretty, this is a pretty, gonna take a pretty good hit, you know, rocks and whatnot. But and then the main welds along the axle tube, I'm gonna clean those up, make a double pass on those. But we got, I think we got pretty good penetration, I think, I hope. But see if this ram still fits, and weld these tie rods up and get this thing mounted up. Got to run the fastenal, get some bolts, make this thing work. But yeah, they've already got all the plumbing and stuff ran. Hopefully this afternoon or tonight we get the plumbing hooked up, get this thing steering, and we'll put it on the ground. See how it turns these big 42s. I don't think there'll be a problem. This PSC ram is massive, so I don't see an issue with it. But yeah, so again, this is an Artec DIY kit. It's not really made for this axle. We had to hack it up to make it work. But as you can see right there, we just basically cut clearance. There's still not a whole lot of clearance. That's what he wanted. He didn't want to cut a whole lot out, but hopefully he don't break a ring and pinion, or something go wrong with his locker. Or, I don't know. That's another issue, but I don't think they're worried about it. So these are pretty tough axles. They've been beat on for a while, so hopefully they'll hold up. My luck, they break first time out, but I don't think there's a problem. As you can see, this thing's pretty massive. I mean, that's a hell of an axle shaft and U-joint. But yeah, so we're gonna mount this ram in here and check clearances, make sure everything looks good. We'll pull it back out, double pass this one, double pass that one down there. 2 or 3 welds along the bottom, along the axle tube that needs double passed. And this thing will be, the fabrication side of things will be pretty much done. Like I said, I apologize for not getting video of the earlier and the install and lines and stuff. I did make a bracket. You can see right here. There's the orbital there, and I fabricated a bracket. It's welds onto the frame, and the orbital is in there at a 45-degree angle, so all your lines and stuff come off and have plenty of clearance. And there'll be the 2 lines drop down here to the pump and be good to go. So, like I said, this is kind of a built system. I've got all these brackets saved, so if anybody wants one of these brackets, shoot me a comment in the comments, and I'll do my best to make it work. This is a 2013 JKU. And these top arms and stuff are for a Dana 60 Ultimate. But anyway, let's get this ram mounted and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, guys, we've got our tie rods and stuff made up. The ram's mounted. Went to Fastenal, got some 3/4 inch fine thread bolts. Used 3/4 inch pipe just as a temporary bushing here to figure out our length. I'm going to make some bushings on the lathe here in a second. I'll show you guys. It's going to be a 1/2 inch bushing on top, and then this one measures out to be 1.92, 1 inch 920 thou, and then there'll be a nice clean tapered misalignment spacer bushing, 3/4 inch hole through the middle of them. The other side is just a little bit different width here, so we're gonna have to measure that one. But let's go over to the lathe and I'll show you guys how we make a bushing. All right, so we're over here at the lathe, our Haas. As you can see, we have a piece of 1 5/8" just raw material. I've already got the program in the controller for our 1/2 inch bushing. All the tools and stuff loaded in the turret. Basically, it's going to be a simple face, OD turn, drill, or face it first, then we'll drill it, then we'll OD rough it, finish it, and then we'll part it off. So this is going to be our 1/2 inch bearing, or bushing, sorry. Again, 3/4 inch hole. It's going to be a lot cleaner. We were going to try to use 3/4 pipe, but it's got a little bit of wiggle. 3/4 pipe isn't exactly 3/4 ID, so we want a good, tight, snug fit with the bushings. So we're going to make our own here. It's a luxury of having some CNC equipment. Normally this thing's running nonstop, making parts, but it's actually waiting for a board. Some of the stuff doesn't work, but anyway, I'll show you guys how this thing's made. Close the door. I've already got the stock stuck out to the Z work offset. Basically, tell the machine the face of this bar is Z0, and now basically all we got to do with the program is close the door and hit start. Can't really see it. There's a lot of coolant. It's drilling a 3/4 inch hole in the center of it right now. It seems like about a minute and 20 seconds on this cycle. So about a minute and 20 seconds we'll have our 1/2 inch bushing. Now it's doing a roughing pass. Creating a rough shape of the bushing. Now it's finishing the part. Now it'll come in and part it off. And it'll spit it out right there. There it is. There's our bushing. Tapered, 1 inch down here, 1.25 up here. Basically will sit just like that. That'll give it to where that heim can move and not hit anything. Just a nice tapered, super clean. Have to go over here to the sander and do a little deburring, but it's as easy as that. Now we just got to get our bottom bushing made, and that'll be done for the driver's side, and then we'll repeat the steps on the passenger side. So that's pretty much it. I'll show you guys what it looks like whenever the bushings and stuff are installed. All right, guys, I'm going to show you how we do the bottom bushing too. It's a little bit different. It's 1 inch and 920 thousandths tall. So it's the one we just made was 1/2 inch, which is not very tall, but this one's 1 inch and 920 thousandths. So basically how we do this, I'll show you guys, is we've got our CAD and CAM program, and this is just, like I said, this is simple bushings, basically with a hole drilled through it. But we've got our CAD program here. Design this, it's tapered from one end to the other, and basically we just give it tool pass and output the G code to the lathe, and that's basically how we do it. I mean, it's not, this is definitely a simple part, but and our lathe is way more capable with the live tooling, but this is just kind of wanting to show you guys how things are done. And lathes are pretty dang sweet. Starts from 1.5 inch or 1 5/8 piece of bar, and it makes us kind of whatever we want bushing. So it's the luxury of having equipment. Like I said, it's normally a production piece of equipment, but we use it to make one-offs as well. Same with our mill. It's just sitting idle today. We've had other projects going on, but we'll walk over here. Got the program for the big bushing, and we'll run it, and I'll show you guys the finished product. So basically, same work offset. It's 2 inches long. We got 3.5 inches of stick out, so we should be more than clear on our tooling with the chuck. But basically the same exact. We just had to change a few things to make the length different. But we got the program loaded in the lathe. Hit cycle start. Again, it's facing it off, and it's going to come in and drill. I did change the drill to where it's pecking. 2 inches is pretty deep for that big of a drill. It'll be a mess of chip. Now it goes in 1/8 of an inch, pulls out. Goes in 1/8 of an inch, pulls out. That way the chip will break. That way you don't get a crazy rat's nest whenever you go to part off or go to drill. If you try to drill it in one continuous push, it'd be a humongous chip, and it'd wad up and cause issues. It's a little bit slower this way, but sometimes slower is better. Still drilling the hole. You can hear good chip control. Once it gets done drilling, it'll rough it, finish it, and part it off. It's done drilling. Now it's roughing. You can kind of see what it's doing. It's kind of hard with the light. Apologize. I don't want to run it without coolant, because if I do that, it'll cause issues. Now it's going to do a finish pass. Basically cleans it up, makes it nice and shiny. Now it's going to part it off. Part off tool is basically a blade. For those of you who don't know, it's just a straight blade that goes straight into the part, cuts it off. There it is. There's our bushing. 3/4 inch hole. Tapered. Super shiny. Again, we'll deburr it, clean it up, install it on the Jeep. Alright, so we got our bushings in. Turned out freaking awesome. So happy with how it turned out. Haven't got everything tightened up yet because we still got to set our alignment. The owner of this Jeep's coming by tonight. Finish up doing all the plumbing. My job is solely the fabrication part. He wanted to be a part of it. He did all the plumbing, and like I said, there's a bracket up there I made to mount the orbital in line with the steering box. Basically all we got left is to set the alignment on this thing, plumb everything up, and get fluid through it. But basically this just goes to show you that just because somebody says you can't do something or there's nothing available, I mean, you may have to hack something up and change something and make something happen, but you can definitely make it happen for sure. He was about to give up and not do this, and he was having trouble keeping steering components in this thing just because how big his Jeep is. And like I said, he went with these axles 7 or 8 years ago, and they were the best you could buy, and he was told that there wasn't no such thing as a double shear high steer arm for a Dana UD60 Ultimate. But we made it happen. Wasn't too bad, like I said, just a lot of planning and coming up with this. Like I said, figuring these out were time consuming, but little cardboard. Made a template, cut some out with sheet metal, made sure they fit. Little clearance checks, and everything checked out, but turned out sweet. Again, this is a 2013, I think, Jeep JKU with Dana 60 Ultimate. And we basically just put full hydro with double shear. There's the passenger side there. You can see the bushings. They were like a 1/4 inch difference in the height, just because of the way the knuckles were, which like I said, it wasn't no big deal to make these. Another grade 8 3/4 inch bolt. These tie rods are 1/4 wall pipe or tube. Sorry, there's not a welded seam. This is tube. Basically button everything up, and this thing will be done. But like I said, this is the kind of stuff we enjoy doing, making people's day. You know, people tell them that they can't do it, they don't want to do it. They were wanting to sell him new axles. They were wanting to basically just, I don't know, not work with what he had. So made it happen. Again, it's just this is the kind of stuff that I enjoy doing. So making something out of nothing. But again, the kit on the axle, the cradle, was an Artec cradle for the hydro steer, kind of their DIY set. They sent him about 10 different boxes with all kinds of parts and plates, and they make a truss. They actually do make a truss for the UD60 Ultimate, but he's not going to go with that right now because this fall, winter, he's going to do a true 3-link on this Jeep, and he'll do the truss then, tie everything together. But for now, to get him done by the 4th of July for his trips, we just got it going, and hopefully this thing will be on the ground and rolling tonight, and go from there. But as far as tomorrow goes, my new piece of equipment is going to be here. I've got a part here that might give you guys a hint of what I've got coming. Basically, got another hypertherm machine torch. Got a hypertherm machine torch here. Basically, I've got another piece of equipment that utilizes plasma cutter. But I'll show you guys more on that tomorrow in another video. I'm super excited. I did get the confirmation that it would be delivered in the morning about 11 a.m. So super pumped. It's been a whole fiasco. It's been a whole fiasco in itself. I was supposed to get it this past Monday, and it kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And I called, and the truck that the crate was on weighs about 1,500 pounds, 6 foot by 6 foot square cardboard crate, or not cardboard, sorry, plywood crate. Probably worth some good money right now with the way wood is. But anyway, the semi, they said it was lost. They couldn't find it. So, story of my life. Couldn't ask for any better luck. But got a confirmation today that it has arrived in town, and they'll be bringing it tomorrow morning. So I'm super pumped to show you guys that. That's going to make my life a ton easier. Like I said, I'm doing this stuff. I was doing it on the side. I'm doing it full time now, and I'm going to make it easy on myself. A few purchases up front will help out in the long run, and help me get through some of these things I used to not necessarily hate, but dislike doing. So, but anyway, another video tomorrow on the new tool. Super pumped for that. I'll show you guys what's going on, and just for those of you who have subscribed, I appreciate it. If you haven't, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We got plans for a lot of cool videos, a lot of fabrication, a lot of building cool random stuff. Just leave a comment. What do you want me to build? I mean, we can make it happen. And if you got any parts that you need manufactured on machines, milling, turning, anything, we can help you out with that too. Small shop. I'm going to try to have some good work for quality prices, help other people out. That's kind of the name of the game right now with the way the economy is and the world is I'm just going to try to do my best to help everybody and be fair and just have fun at with what I'm doing and make a decent living, keep rolling. But anyways, like and subscribe if you haven't, and we'll be seeing you.